While international law recognizes refugee rights related to economic inclusion, those rights often remain unfulfilled. 70% of refugees live in countries with limited rights to work, often lacking access to markets and social protection. Many refugees work in informal jobs, making them particularly vulnerable to shocks. When refugees obtain decent work and can provide for their families, they live more dignified lives with enhanced protection and better prospects for durable solutions. Economic inclusion, access to employment and entrepreneurship enable refugees to contribute to their host economies as consumers, taxpayers, and employers. Through the Global Compact on Refugees, 193 countries committed to improving refugees' self-reliance and easing pressure on host countries. To learn from the Strategy on Livelihoods and Economic Inclusion, UNHCR gathered input through a global survey and commissioned Tango International to undertake numerous evaluations. The findings show that improving refugee self-reliance depends on creating an enabling environment by applying a market systems approach where interventions are tailored to socio-economic and political contexts, building on refugees' skills and capacities. UNHCR and partners should actively pursue policy changes with governments and mobilize support, including with development actors, the private sector, and civil society. Based on the evaluation's findings, a context typology tool was developed to help UNHCR operations determine what intervention strategy is suitable based on the prevailing political and economic context, ranging from the least favorable to the best enabling environment. Political context refers to policies, practices, and services related to refugees, such as right to work, freedom of movement, access to education, while economic context refers to availability of jobs, market conditions, and poverty levels. UNHCR's role in improving self-reliance, protection, and providing humanitarian assistance depends on where the country falls on the typology tool. In line with the GCR, UNHCR strives to be a proactive advocate, mobilizer, capacity builder, and coordinator together with the government where possible, and an implementer where the organization has a comparative advantage and resources to effectively fill a gap. Advocacy is about improving the policy environment to support refugees and their well-being in order to achieve durable solutions. How this is done depends on needs and existing rights. Turkey illustrates how a policy-enabling environment for refugees was improved when private sector actors joined us to advocate for Syrian refugees' access to work permits. UNHCR may be directly involved in implementation in certain contexts, including where joint programming or innovative projects are designed with governments or other partners with the objective of creating impact, building capacity, and ensuring sustainability and scale. Costa Rica is an example of this, where UNHCR and its partners conducted poverty alleviation programs for the poorest refugees. After initial pilots of the graduation approach, the government gradually took over many components of the program with support from UNHCR. Yet, in contexts where opportunities to include refugees into existing systems are limited or do not exist, UNHCR may fill gaps in mobilization, implementation, and partnerships, creating incentives for others to join, and act as a bridge in the humanitarian development nexus. This is happening in South Sudan, where, together with partners, we are supporting tens of thousands of refugees towards enhanced food security and nutrition with multi-sectoral activities linked to agricultural programs in the absence of relevant actors. In order to achieve refugee self-reliance, a whole-of-operation, whole of UNHCR and whole of society approach is needed. There is a role for everyone in advancing the goal of increased self-reliance set out by the Global Compact on Refugees. UNHCR is in a unique position to promote this agenda, mobilize others through enhanced advocacy, coordination, and strong partnerships.